Nestle girl, you know, it's funny how when you are doing just what you're supposed to be doing, the universe will pour resources into your lap. And so, you know, lately I've been going through this thing, this transformation. Y'all have witnessed me going through my personal journey and spiritual evolution. But I've been going through this thing with my content where I'm finding it painstakingly difficult to watch these reality TV shows, right? Like, I've watched 15 minutes of the last episode of Love and Hip Hop in Atlanta. And for whatever reason, I can't get through the rest of it in order to make a video. And I've been feeling really, really guilty about it. But then I find it so much easier to talk about some of the more worldly content. And I figure that's probably the direction my channel is going to get ready to go. Anywho, we'll talk about that in another video. Yesterday, I did a video about Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union supporting their 11-year-old son by taking him to the gay pride parade. And at the beginning of that video, I spoke about how there were two things that were going to continue to keep the black community as a whole behind the times, which was tradition and religion. And I find it odd that my friend Brandon came over last night and we were talking, and he shared with me an article about how the Church of Latter-day Saints has changed their... Can you get out of here while I'm doing this? Out! Out! You making noise on the carpet. Out! Everybody out! Damn, you here rolling around, all that scratching, y'all gotta excuse me. That's Georgie's ass having a conniption on my carpet. Out, buddy. Out. The Church of Latter-day Saints has changed their position when it comes to LGBTQ members, so on and so forth. So let me give y'all a little bit of background. Y'all know the Church of Latter-day Saints, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is a Mormon-based church. Headquartered out of Utah or whatever, and they have very, very stern and stringent beliefs on not just gay people, but a lot of things. Well, in my video yesterday, I spoke about how we blindly follow religion, blindly follow tradition, without making any adjustments or reevaluations for where the world is today in 2019. And I am proud to report that under its new policy, the Church of Latter-day Saints now says LGBT members may baptize their children and non-members can have their kids blessed. In addition, same-sex marriages will no longer be considered apostasy and abandonment of faith and just a sin. Why is this monumental? Well, it's monumental for one because their strict policy for a while had been, if you are a same-sex couple, regardless of the sexuality of your child, you cannot baptize your child in this church, which, you know, I don't think Jesus would agree with. And then two, they were saying that if you were gay or living in a same-sex relationship, it's considered apostasy. Now, I don't know what apostasy is, and abandonment of faith. But me being as smart as I am and using the context clues, I would imagine apostasy means, you know, a complete, you know, blasphemous act that is just unacceptable by the church. Nevertheless, they have now adjusted their policies to be slightly more inclusive. And here is the point that I want to make. There is a way that you can be inclusive even if you don't agree with, accept the lifestyle, whatever the fuck that means, and all these other terms people use. So the moral of my message today is, if one of the most stringent conservative churches in the US, in the world, can make these strides towards inclusivity and unconditional love for all, when is the black church and black folks as a whole going to do the same? And let it be known, for those of you who are so worried about the fabric of your church changing, they're not saying LGBT people come here and get married. They're not saying you're going to have your wedding at our church. They're not saying you're going to have a baby shower for your same-sex couple. That's not what they're saying. What they're saying is, we recognize there are gay people on this planet and there is nothing that we can do. However, our jobs as Jesus-loving church folks is to try to save everybody's soul. So you know what? We're going to make it easier and more welcoming for your soul to be saved. For those of y'all who's so concerned with saving folks' souls. Now, I said to my friend Brandon last night as I was talking, as it related to the black church. Let's just say, for the sake of argument right now, that I agree with the fact that being gay is a sin, and that, you're going to hell, and God don't approve of it, and I need to pray it out. If I need to pray the gay out and give my life to Jesus, isn't the first place for me to do that the church? And how is it possible that you're going to pray for me and pray the gay out and have me come to church continuously if I am uncomfortable? I'm not saying the black church needs to allow people to get married, gay people to get married there. I'm saying that the black church needs to just make it more comforting for people who identify as gay, bisexual, or anything. From a religious perspective, if you believe that I need to pray it out, then make it comfortable for me to come here and pray. So, I'm going to put the link to this story in the bottom of my post, and let's have some dialogue about it. Again, let me reiterate, I am not, the moral of my point is not the fact that they can now baptize children, or they have downgraded the severity of what their church considers a homosexual lifestyle to be. The whole point that I'm trying to make, piggybacking off of my video from yesteryear, is that the church has stepped into 2019 and made some re-evaluations of their stances and laws. So I would be curious to know from you guys' perspective, what do you think some re-evaluations of the black church can be made? Re-evaluations and adjustments. Let's jump down in the comments and talk about them. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll call y'all back.